You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811. That is the message line number. Welcome to day number 156 of our 15-day quarantine. Ah, yeah.
15 days to slow the spread.
15 days to flatten the curve.
That's right.
I mean, yeah. And the curve, which was flattened.
I want to tell y'all how bad
But
the
it's not.
Karens are out there. When some friends of mine in New York State, when New York State finally opened the boat ramps and all this stuff, they wanted to share pictures. But
Okay.
they were so, maybe afraid is not the right word, so cautious of the Karens in New York that they created a private group just for pictures of their trip.
Wow.
On the Erie Canal.
Wow.
So,
Are you
it's just interesting to me.
serious?
Signs of the times.
So,
Sad.
a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours from Vermont, said that they were talking with a person in their office, I guess it was the UPS guy, who UPS is requiring masks of all drivers in I guess Vermont, because they're not requiring them out here. Otherwise, our UPS guy is rogue.
Yeah, but you're in Nebraska with a filthy red state governor.
Well,
who
right.
doesn't believe in
All
science.
right, all right. No.
That's right.
Let's
Science deniers.
Let's get this right. How many infectious people do you have currently in your entire state?
We currently have only
43?
150-something people in the hospital for this.
Okay, but to be
That's it.
fair, that's like 25% of your state population, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this
Slow the spread.
this
Remember that city of like 20,000 people is the second largest city in the United States. So
this UPS guy is hoofing it for like a half mile because they're doing a ton of work in this one town in Vermont. And so he's hoofing it like a half mile. He stops, takes off his mask to get a breath. Woman pops out of a doorway, snaps a picture, and goes, "Gotcha."
Dude, that's cancer.
Kid you not. I kid you not.
legit
Yes.
goes, gotcha.
Yes.
Like I've been
Legit.
trying.
I'm telling you, dude,
Legit.
my analysis of 1984 last week and coronavirus now, spot on. I'm
I know.
telling you.
I know, guys. I know.
I'm telling you.
It's getting ridiculous. Current numbers from my health district. I ran them this morning. We have 56,000 people living in our health district. Jeff.
As in District 11?
District no.
The
District
aliens are
Elkhorn.
coming.
We currently have 207 people sick in our district. Currently with sickness.
That's
But
rough.
still, that's only 0.36% infection rate. And death rate is
dare-
down at
How dare you
0.01%.
How
Do
dare
you
you mock
not
the
care about
seriousness of
grandmas and grandpas? How dare you? How dare you,
You know,
sir?
as I said before, the majority of deaths, over 80% of deaths are people over the age of 65. If we're going to quarantine,
but comorbidities.
that's who needs to be
Something
quarantined.
disproportionate. It's something disproportionate like that. Yeah.
And I don't remember the.
No, that's
forgive me 'cause I
national
don't have
numbers.
the
Our
numbers
local
sitting in
numbers are
front
a
of
bit
me.
skewed on that because we've only had 6 dead.
And they only have 153
But the thing is-
in their county.
The number I heard the other day is you're not seeing a spike. Like if you look at the total overall deaths in the United
Well-
States, the number that I heard is you're not
You're
seeing
talking
a
about the
massive
crude-
spike in
You're
that.
talking about the crude death rate.
Just death rate in the United States. You're not actually
Yeah.
seeing a massive spike in that because
Right.
such a large portion of the people dying of coronavirus are people in the age bracket with comorbidities that would have died within the next year anyways. And that is
So
not
let's talk
that sounds
about-
like an awful number to even analyze or say because it sounds like you're not caring about these deaths, and we definitely care. These are people that
Well,
are
you
dying.
obviously hate old
That's
people.
a real thing.
And we're definitely not Karen.
But the
wait,
point
Karen.
being, there's
Karen.
one specific group of people that is highly susceptible to this, and this is people that with comorbidities and of an age that would have been likely to pass away within the next 12 months anyways, and then many times, mostly anecdotal, there's no hard numbers on this, and I don't know how you'd ever get the hard numbers on this, but you hear time and time again of X person goes into the hospital. He was a high heart attack candidate and has a heart attack, goes in the hospital, dies of the heart attack. They test him in the hospital for COVID. He has it. So what goes on the death certificate? COVID or with COVID. And because it's listed as a comorbidity, it's a COVID death. And of course, there's multiple reasons for that. There's incentives for hospitals to get money. There's political incentives. There's just trying to be honest about the number of people that have the disease.
There's no political incentives in any of this.
There's multiple reasons, and some of them might be legit, where they're just saying we want to track every person that dies with it.
Stop
but
it with
then
your
when
false
those
narrative.
statistics are reported, those statistics are being skewed.
So
fact check.
Aaron, what did you say
this
total?
man.
What did you say total deaths were in Nebraska?
Total number of deaths in the state of Nebraska is I'm trying to bring up the numbers here. I've got the map up.
For the Ronas.
It's 376 deaths in the state of Nebraska.
Right.
South Carolina is considerably higher than that.
Now, okay, no, but like, look at this now. So everybody's freaking out about Georgia.
You on the CDC website?
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm on the John
out.
Hopkins.
So
everybody's been freaking out about Georgia literally every week for the last 4 months.
Everybody's been freaking out about Georgia. Georgia, look at the numbers in Georgia.
5,000 deaths. 5,000 deaths.
Okay, so look at the numbers in Georgia. Compare it to New Jersey, and you can see a lot of similarities, except in the part of the deaths.
Except we're not putting COVID patients in nursing homes with old people?
Right. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you look at Georgia now, you can see very similar numbers to New Jersey when we were in our peak, but you don't see similar death, like a similar death rate.
Well, right,
New Jersey is drastically higher,
and that's what I'm seeing now.
than Georgia
is like there is a substantial drop off in the number of serious cases.
Right.
In the state of Nebraska currently, we have. I don't remember how many sick we have currently.
We currently.
I'm trying to look this up now.
We currently, I think, have around, maybe 300 people in the hospital total, out of 8 million, and we're having around, I want to say maybe it's about 150 deaths a week, because it's around like 10 to 15 deaths a day.
Right.
Can I back up a little bit and talk about Georgia again?
8 million people. Let's talk about it.
So. Georgia and Florida have been turned into political footballs because they both have Republican governors and they're both southern states.
Well, there's quote unquote swing states.
Georgia, and they're swing states. So
this isn't political. This is not political, Tombstone.
It's not political.
Just let me finish. I know y'all are kidding, but let me finish.
Are we?
The Yankee media, the Northeastern media machine, views Georgia as a racist red state, and the reality is Georgia has a huge black and Hispanic population.
It's true.
I forget the exact proportion, but it's quite large, especially in the city. In Atlanta. Atlanta is not majority white, so it's like no, we can't have an honest conversation about who's being affected and who's being hit hardest. And I don't know. People are cruel and they like to score points, and scoring points with deaths is a terrible thing. And people are doing that with New York and New Jersey, by the way.
Right.
Big difference is Cuomo worked really, really hard to bring this down on himself. I have to point that out. But I don't bear any ill will toward the people of New York.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Can't say the same for how people talk about Georgia.
Right. Okay, so here's the demographics for Georgia according to worldpopulationreview.com. I'm sorry, for Atlanta specifically. Atlanta is 51.85% African American, 40.27 white, and 4.16 Asian. It does not include Hispanic. I'm not sure if they just consider Hispanic in with white or.
Maybe. There are not a lot of Hispanics in the city proper. There are a ton of Hispanics
Right.
in the suburbs.
Correct.
So it just depends. But that's where Atlanta is where the highest concentration of cases is. There are significant other concentrations in the state.
And again, it's a major world hub and large city.
It's huge. It's huge. And I keep seeing rumors. I shouldn't say rumors, but I keep seeing people talking about how a large number of the cases that originated in other states in May and early June came from New York originally, because people fled the city.
Probably
after what's his name, Mayor Wilhelm shut everything down. De Blasio shut everything down.
Which have you looked at New York? Like, have you actually looked at, like, they have the web cameras that you can look at the city and stuff that are around the city? Dude, it is crazy, like, desolate.
Yeah.
Like, during rush hour times, there's traffic, but there's no people.
Do you guys know who James Altucher is?
So strange. No.
I guess he's a writer, and he owns a comedy club that Jim Gaffigan performs at a lot, or used to before everything went haywire. But he's like a people person, serial entrepreneur, and he writes a really interesting blog. But he said basically people are leaving the city like crazy. Business rents are crashing, residential rents are crashing. Okay, so here's the other crazy
it's bad.
That's what we were talking about last week too.
Did you talk about the Department of Homeless Services moving people around to the Upper West Side?
No.
You mean the Upper West Side where the crime rates are skyrocketing right now?
Yeah. So De Blasio's this is under De Blasio's control. It's the New York City's Department of Homeless Services, not as DHS, but it's not Homeland Security. It really confused me the first time I read an article about it.
Homeless security.
So the Department of Homeless Services, because they were worried about coronavirus sweeping through the homeless population in homeless centers, which, by the way, is a completely legitimate concern, but their remedy for this was to move hundreds of homeless men into hotels on the Upper West Side, and it's completely destroyed the neighborhood, and people are leaving and saying they're never going to come back.
Which, if you guys don't know, the Upper West Side is a fairly posh,
it's quite
or
totally.
was
I've never been. Have you been there, Aaron?
Yeah, I've been through there a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, don't have the money to stay there.
Well,
because I'm not being put up in a hotel by the homeless services. I mean,
you should have just stopped by the DHS office and asked for a room.
So
he would have gone to the wrong one.
So as y'all know,
and he'd have ended up in Guantanamo.
Well, sure, we'll give you a free room.
So as y'all know, I'm extremely online, and I follow a lot of people that are that have lived in San Francisco or Los Angeles and New York City.
That was a very boomer thing to say.
Even though I don't have a desire.
Online.
What's that? Even though I don't have a desire to live those places.
That sounds like a boomer thing to say.
Sounds like you're playing Second Life.
I mean, I kind of am, but I pay attention to what people say if they spend a lot of time there, especially if they're not dumb. But people talk about how the city was so terrible in the 70s and 80s, and Giuliani and Bloomberg built it back up, and now De Blasio is just destroying it.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Like in the space of like 6 months, people are completely aghast. But I don't know. The wages of communism, I guess.
I'm curious. I saw something like that. Isn't Chicago having trouble with like department stores and stuff? I saw something about Macy's is leaving Chicago.
I don't know about that.
Well, downtown on the Miracle Mile or whatever they're calling it.
Just be.
Oh yeah, they were having looting down.
But they had looting and riots last week.
I think it was specifically because specifically I thought it was because of the riots
tax rates and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so you're talking about the coronavirus stuff and the like Tombstone was talking about the southern states and the curves and stuff like that. And I mean not that I listen to that much of mainstream news from any side anymore, but have you heard anything about Texas and Arizona and all those states that were just like filling your news feed a 2-3 weeks ago? Have you been hearing anything about them much lately?
Yeah, Texas keeps coming up. People keep saying, "Oh, any day now, Texas's hospitals are going to be overflowing." Hasn't happened yet. As far as I know, they are
on the downside of its curve.
Yeah. Arizona.
let's
I actually
see.
haven't heard people talking about Arizona,
so-
but Arizona is not like a traditional red
Well,
state.
so Arizona's no longer a
Arizona
swing
has
state.
Long,
Like it's not
well,
a swing
but here
state.
it is.
I mean,
It's hot. So this is as of August 18th. So 4 days old now.
4 days
But
old. As of
The thing
Saturday.
is what they're finding is this virus goes through. Let me find the exact time frame here. Is that when it comes into an area, it has about a 6 or 8 week wave, and then it burns out in that area, and that area kind of reaches at 20%.
And then, but are you talking about fatalities?
and then
Because cases are up, but fatalities are down proportionally to cases.
No, so let's see. Here we go. So for Arizona, because they're using the example of these states that everyone was freaking out about, a couple weeks ago, where they were booming.
Everybody's
Arizona,
flipping
Texas,
out now.
the
They
South,
don't have anything
everyone in
to
the
stand
South.
on.
So
Nothing's happening.
let's see. As of August 13th, is this Arizona they're still talking about? Remember the spread of the raging virus in the southern states throughout June and July? Well, that did not go on forever. According to CDC's weekly update on Friday, the number of people in the hospital with laboratory confirmed cases, this is in the South, was lower than it has been since the beginning of the lockdown during the week of March 21st.
Uh-oh.
We're also testing more people today.
Uh-oh.
As according to August 13th, according to the CDC, people with coronavirus-like illness, not even confirmed cases, coronavirus-like illness are just 1.8% of emergency room visits, which matches the June 6th level in the South before the surge. Let's see. Florida reported the lowest daily totals in 2 months. Its visits for COVID-like illness are down 63%. I don't know why I said percent. That was weird. I think 'cause I was looking at Arizona. Arizona is at its lowest since June 3rd.
Right.
And
my state, I can travel to Arizona.
0 deaths and less than
quarantining
500 new cases the other day. Hospitalizations in Texas. Hospitalizations down 43% from their July 22nd peak.
Right.
And that's even in the border counties where it was, because if you look at Texas, the spike in Texas was the border counties with people coming across the border. It wasn't,
interesting,
in all of the state.
So let me give you some.
What's happening is it's spiking and it's burning out when people are gaining. So yes, the cases spike as it spreads, and then people build the T cells and B cells and whatever they're talking about. I'm not an immunologist.
Whoa! This is too much science.
Whoa!
Too much science.
And then there's herd immunity is achieved.
Could not
herd
be
immunity
that.
is achieved.
Nope. I still see those things for
only. I'm pretty sure only racist colonizers believe in herd immunity.
It's true. Andy has a red shirt on today.
It's probably
my word.
That's proof.
It's probably
that's where it is.
And it's probably true.
So one of the things we have to look at, I am starting to be persuaded that the tests are not actually testing for COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. Hold on.
This is going to be legit.
Hold on.
I can't wait.
Okay.
So
I don't have enough.
So a lot of these, just hold on. A lot of these tests are
Alex
showing
Jones.
up, positive or negative, and they're flawed. They're flawed tests. Look at.
Are they supposed to show up with something else?
Look at
they're testing whether you're lizard people or not.
Just stop. Look at Matthew Stafford.
They're trying to
who was tested once, ended up positive, and then negative 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah, that's
now.
I don't know who Matthew Stafford
false
is.
positive.
Is he a football person?
Yes, Jeff knows him.
I guess that.
Oh, look at that!
Jeff knows him.
Good call.
Yeah,
nailed it.
And so
I don't know him personally.
No, not personally, but so I'm wondering if these tests aren't testing for old coronaviruses, because coronaviruses have been around since for eons.
Wait. So you still think?
Oh, you're saying are they getting confused?
I'm thinking that the tests. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I think we're getting some false positives off the common cold.
Listen, they only have.
They know that they're getting false positives.
Right.
They've said that there's.
And so in turn, that means the death rate of COVID-19 is actually higher, but the transmissibility is a lot lower.
Okay.
Not sure how I feel about that, to be honest with you.
It's it's a good and a bad proposition all at the same
I
time.
see what
have
you're
any of
saying.
you had the test done?
No, I haven't.
No.
I do not want my brain touched with a pipette. I mean,
Did you watch the video? Dude, I watched this video of this family, and they do it like they don't even have you get out of your car. And this poor girl, she looked like she was about 16 or something like that, and it was a riot, man. Like she could not handle it, and it doesn't look
So
like it's
they're just scraping the back of your sinus, right?
your brain, yeah, basically.
tapping your brain a couple
they
times.
basically like they have this long wand
Yeah.
worth of thing, and they stick it in your nose and then they wiggle it around. It looks like if you got a feather stuck in your nose for about 10 seconds. That's what it looks like.
It's not a feather though. It's a long. It's a giant long wooden
But
Q-tip.
no, it's not. It's not a. Well, the one I saw was not a wooden Q-tip.
Let's be
It was
honest, they're
extremely
putting
flexible.
microchips in there. We all know that.
They're
No,
implanting
I'm
a
kidding. I'm
microchip in your
kidding.
brain while
I'm
they
kidding,
test.
America. I'm kidding.
He's not. He
Don't
just was
cancel
waiting-
us. Don't cancel us.
He was waiting to see our reaction, and we reacted negatively. So he's like, "I'm just joking, guys."
So he said,
I'm not really that
you know
crazy.
when you start to say something true, yeah, you start to say something true, and then everyone laughs, and you're like, yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
That was a-
guys.
yeah. So, look, Nebraska's numbers right now. I just crunched Nebraska's numbers while Tombstone was postulating. We have a 5% hospitalization rate for all the tests. We have a 1% death rate for all the tests, or
No,
for all the. Excuse me,
tests?
1% death rate for the
Positive tests.
for the positive tests.
Right.
We have a 1%
So
infection
Of
rate.
the number of people tested positive,
1% die.
If y'all don't let each other finish your sentences, I'm gonna scream. Let the man finish.
1% die. We have 1% infection rate. Like you have a 1% of the population to get the infection. You have a 0.01% chance of dying in the population, and active cases in the state of Nebraska are only 0.4% of the population. Guys, you literally have 98.6% chance of not having this currently. Like,
But it is the numbers will continue to go up though.
you started out strong with that statement, and then you petered out with
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
it
I
was
know.
like you have
I know.
98 point of. You
I was
might
like,
not,
crap.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Crap. No, anyways, I guess what I'm saying
you
here
said
is
1%.
the hype does not live up to
So
this doesn't live up to the hype.
have you noticed how that the news is always coming up with something new to make everybody panic again?
Yes.
So now we're on.
Oh, you mean like the two? You mean like the two hurricanes that are about to hit us?
No.
Guys,
I'm
that's
talking about
amazing.
I'm talking about specifically the coronavirus.
You mean the concept that, oh my goodness, the virus is going to peter out before we get a vaccine?
that too?
That headline.
That's possible
That headline was
too.
golden.
That was
Researchers concerned the virus may die off before we get to see the results of the vaccine or something like that.
It's
That
like,
was the headline,
okay.
right? Where is it? Who has it?
Bummer.
Hold up.
Tombstone
Bummer.
looks insulted.
Okay, guys.
I'm over.
We've
it.
obviously
I'm also growing to
But-
despise narrative generation.
Anyway, but the newest, latest, and greatest narrative is with the masks, in that
Okay.
you cannot wear like neck gaiters and or other masks, because instead of, and this was what was the college, Harvard,
There was a
or
study
something
done.
like that, right? There was a study done by a
it's
college,
always a study.
right? That everything
I
is
think it
being
was
based
Duke.
off of. Oh, it was Duke. Correct. It was Duke. That the droplets that get caught, like the neck gaiters, do not allow the droplets to actually get caught in the gaiter, because like they're made to not do that. And so they turn the droplets by spraying it through, when you cough or sneeze, by spraying it through the neck gaiter and using it as a filter, basically turns it into a
Aerosol.
Aerosol, yes.
Yeah. and
So,
yeah. I mean,
that's-
that's probably true.
That's the newest thing now. So everyone needs to panic. So what this is going to
You're
cause,
just mad.
what this
You're
is going
just
to
mad that you
cause-
can't wear your neck gaiter and you've
is-
got to wear a more uncomfortable mask.
I
in
would
your
be
chair.
mad
You're actually right. I am. But what this is going to cause is this is going to cause and give fuel to the Karens to now judge you by your mask that you're wearing, not even whether or not you have one on.
Well,
So-
yeah.
Be ready for that. There is going to be the Facebook group that's going to have the photos of the people who do not have the correct type of mask on now.
I'm just gonna fold my beard up.
I
I think
it.
that's considered a biohazard.
I mean, it was even before I used it as a mask. But anyways,
All right,
guys, I wanna talk about L.A. County right now.
You realize we're still in the opening segment,
Yes,
right?
yes, but that's okay. It's still on topic. L.A. County, Pastor John MacArthur, pastor of Grace Community Church, last week won an injunction against the state to open services on the 16th. We did not cover this last Saturday because I thought the news was too fresh. So won an injunction on, I believe
Can't have any
is
of that
a
fresh
value
news
that we have here at the Front Porch?
Somewhat,
I wasn't aware
it
of
somewhat
that
is.
Some news must be stale before it is covered.
Well, I like to see what
Just this one
happens.
time.
I like to see what happens with some news before we talk about it. Because
I get that, because you don't. If you take a side really strongly,
Right,
then your side
right.
stabs you in
And
the
so
back, like MacArthur's about to.
I have taken time on this one because originally, if you remember 5-6 weeks ago, or I guess 2 months ago now, MacArthur was still meeting, and I was like, that might not be the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get to last week. I'm still not going to take a huge side on this, although constitutionally, I think this story really matters.
All right.
Back on the 12th or something, they end up winning an injunction against the state, allowing them to open. Now, the caveat they put on themselves was, we will maintain social distancing and we will wear masks. Late night on the 15th, the review court comes out and says, whoa, no, you cannot meet. There's no chance of you meeting. That's not going to happen. You can't meet under any circumstance. Indoors. MacArthur turns around and says, well, I guess what God was saying was we shouldn't have put the caveat that we'd maintain social distancing and wear masks.
What? Did he really say that?
We're meeting on Sunday. Come on out. And held 3 fully packed services. No social distancing and no masks.
Okay.
Now,
Come on. Get it right. They are not going off of MacArthur specifically going, hey, you know what? You guys shove it up your butts. We're going to meet, and telling his congregation just to sit next to each other. This is all optional for his congregation.
So that's the thing.
His congregation has been asking to do this and is actively participating in this. This is not the church doing this and saying, you know what, pack yourselves in.
Yes, that is correct.
We'll be all fine.
That is correct. It comes down to personal responsibility.
Right, and they are giving,
technically it is
masks.
the church doing it because the people are the church.
Okay, come on.
All
right. So they are providing hand sanitizer. They are providing masks for people.
Should they want them? Yes.
And they are letting people make the decision for themselves whether or not they want to bring their family.
What?
I want to ask you, how different?
Make decisions for yourself.
How different is this than the John Lewis funeral, where no one was wearing masks and no one was social distancing? Is
and
it
then
just
all the politicians got exempted from the quarantine when they came back?
Is it just because politicians are exempt from everything?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. Moving on.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But you're right. What's good for me is not good for thee.
No, it was all covered when it was just called a peaceful protest. And at the beginning of the service,
which was
then it's all safe and covered under all these laws.
Which was how John MacArthur opened up the August 9th service of his church, saying that welcome to the Grace Community Peaceful Protest.
Churches are not allowed to peacefully protest. We've seen that by people getting arrested outside of Planned Parenthoods trying to write "All Lives Matter."
So the irony that I am seeing,
chalk in erasable chalk on the sidewalk.
The irony that I am seeing is that the Constitution does not necessarily the church is afforded more protections under the First Amendment than a protest.
Yes.
And yet
here we are.
And yet here we are having to discuss this.
Well,
y'all have to read.
Or similar. I mean, yeah.
Y'all got to go read Mold Bug. None of this is going to make sense to you unless you read Mold Bug.
Jeff, according to how they are defining protests right now, it includes riots, and it's not a peaceable protest.
Well, okay, yeah.
So according to how they are defining protest right now, the church is being afforded
According to
less.
how they are defining it. Correct.
Yes, the church is being afforded. If we want to talk about riots and everything, then no, it's not afforded. It's not afforded protections under the First Amendment. Right.
Besides,
exactly.
we need to figure out where the next riot is. I need a new TV. I would like a bigger TV.
By the way, my suspicion
Gonna
is
take
that
a U-Haul with you.
the protests / riots are going to drive Minnesota straight into the Republican fold during the election. Even if all the other Midwestern Rust Belt states go Democrat, it's not going to matter.
That's possible.
That still gives Trump 572 or 272.
We need to talk about that more in depth in some
Can we talk about Sleepy
impressive.
Joe's speech during the convention?
Yeah, so let's come back.
Let's cut and then do that. Yeah.
Let's come back.
I like
and
Sleepy Joe.
we have a lot to talk about with the DNC convention because they successfully put most of America to sleep last week.
They successfully locked Tulsi Gabbard out of the convention.
They
That's
gave
sad.
AOC 1 minute, 1 full minute.
And even that was too much.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democrat, and I love John McCain. And I also am told that Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what. If we do everything right, we do it with absolute certainty. We stand up there and we make really tough decisions. There's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong.
The man who wants to lead our country. Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I think in that last
Donald
clip,
Trump also
he's
wants to lead our country, apparently.
describing our podcast in that last clip. If we do everything right, there's still a 30% chance we get it wrong.
30% chance.
I thought it was I thought that was referring to the coronavirus test.
No.
There you go.
Isn't that the truth?
So,
The
did y'all
sad
know
part
that-
is, guys, that's from before he was going through the obvious, like, mental decline and the things that the age related things that he's suffering
His
from.
stuff
now.
is terrible.
And I'm not, and again, people
early.
might think I'm using that as an insult to him. Like, I'm not using that as an insult to him right now. Like, it's actually very sad when I see him struggling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I do chuckle. I do find it funny at times because I do view him as a political opponent, whatever. But when I actually step back and look at it, I actually many times find it more sad than funny because I view it as, what if this was your grandfather? What if this was your father? Like, are people just totally dehumanize everyone when they run for politics, right? And I'm not trying to be all gushy, wishy-washy. Oh, think about the humanity of it all. But seriously, this is a guy who should be spending his last years on this earth with his family. His family should be spending the time they can enjoy with him. He's obviously struggling from some mental decline. And again, that's not an insult. That's a very obvious, observable fact. And instead, he's being pushed around, and maybe he thinks he's doing it because people want to give him all this power, but he is just being manipulated like crazy to give power to a party. A group
Okay,
of
so
people.
what has the
hang on.
DNC been
pretty
saying
sad.
the whole time? The DNC
On
has been
that
saying
note-
he's a moderate.
How do you feel about President Kamala Harris?
Exactly. That's what's happening. Like, that's all this is.
So if we can go back a year and a half or whenever we started talking about this
You gonna gloat now?
godforsaken
It's
election.
time
Tombstone's
to
gonna
time
gloat.
travel.
I only
Tombstone,
got a
please
half
gloat.
right.
Just
I can't
gloat.
gloat. I can't gloat.
Ready?
I can't
Ready?
gloat.
Let's now time travel with
Okay, I'm gonna gloat.
Tombstone.
I had Kamala Harris picked because it seemed to me like she had major support in the DNC, and her campaign opening was spectacular. Everybody loved it, and then she crashed and burned against
bad.
the burn.
It was bad.
Yeah. So, but Bernie.
It's because she's not what the uber lefty like controlling force of the Democrat Party wants.
Right. But the Democrat hard left part of the base really, I don't think really matters because they're already in states that are going to go hard Democrat anyways, like Portland, Oregon, and California.
That is a good point.
Last week on the show, I said Kamala Harris is the perfect pick if you are pandering to the white middle class Karens. She is the absolute perfect pick.
Which to be honest is the swing voters.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
They are. I'm telling you, it's a perfect pick. So, guys, a couple observations from this week. Number one, the DNC can never claim to have the moral majority, and neither can or moral high ground. Neither can the Republicans. After picking Donald Trump, the Republicans can't claim they have the moral high ground. But furthermore, after this week, they cannot claim to have the moral high ground when they are parading around Miss Horizontal Harris. And yes, I went there.
Don't do that again.
And Bill Clinton, like they are saviors of the party. My second observation: Bill Clinton is the best politician ever.
Oh yeah,
Bill Clinton.
Well, it depends on what the meaning of is.
Bill Clinton is the best politician ever, and I say that because
yes,
not only has he dug himself out of the crimes of his presidency, where you guys all know what happened during that, and the
know what happened.
We're not going there,
right? Why would you preface it that way?
Is guys, when I was in the White House, I did some things.
Listen, if you can do his voice, you should be able to get away with anything. This is basically what you're saying.
All right, Aaron, were you going to make a point about Bill Clinton?
So my point is, I'm going to get stuck in his voice.
I don't think so.
So
he just wanted to do the Bill Clinton voice.
No.
That was the entire point of this whole segment. See, there he goes again.
I'm not here for an interview. I'm just here to tell the truth.
I will.
So Donald, he stood up and gives a speech. So after claiming, after doing everything he did, he gets up there and delivers a speech the other night, claiming that Donald Trump has desecrated the Oval Office. And I'm thinking, no.
It depends on what the definition of desecrated is.
It depends on what the definition of the word desecrate is. And you're right, but you can't stand up there and say
you
that.
You haven't heard this yet, Tombstone?
You cannot
hear this?
You cannot stand up there and say that.
Let me put it this way: Aaron's and Ben's turns of phrases are uniquely awful, and they make me want to pull my ears off of my head.
What? All he said.
I didn't say anything wrong.
What the meaning of desecrate is?
Yeah.
All he said is it depends on what you mean by desecrate, and I think that's a pretty fair statement by Ben.
He was quoting what Bill Clinton said during his trial.
At least somebody caught that.
I love it.
That's actually even better.
I love it. It's even better.
I didn't catch it. See? I was too busy. I was too busy watching. I was watching Tombstone's reaction and actually missing the statement.
Now that we had to explain the joke to Jeff, so he stands up there and says and declares how Trump or not Trump.
Speaking of awkward turns of phrases. I don't either.
Doing there too.
So Clinton stands up there and says how bad Trump is and how much he's ruined the office of presidency. And then I'm sitting there thinking, wait, who was impeached?
Well, Trump was also impeached, to be fair.
Right, Trump was impeached too.
Trump was
But
wait, does anybody even
to the
remember
same level
that happened?
No, hardly.
Nobody has even mentioned that in the last 5 months because
because now they think they're going to beat him in an election.
Nobody wants to talk about it because it was so incredibly lame.
Right.
That's why nobody wants to talk about it.
Yes.
Except me.
And so then we run into the situation with Clinton and the Epstein situation.
Ooh.
And he sits and
please don't.
Just hold on.
No, please.
I'm not bringing up
this was already the prediction.
I'm not bringing it up.
You're defying your own prediction.
I'm not bringing it up. And he still delivers the speech. Like all these allegations, all the Me Too allegations against Clinton, and he still delivers this speech of integrity in the White House. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, dude.
That's because integrity is subjective to the times, and what the liberals think integrity is different than what we think integrity is. So it all matters what the definition of is.
So 2 points. Democrats don't have moral integrity. Clinton is a chief politician. Is the best politician ever.
I would say Clinton arguably is probably about the best politician ever.
Number 3.
He can literally get away with anything.
He can literally get away with anything. Number amazing. 3, the Democrat Party is not the moderate party they are pretending to be. That is evident from their policy platform that they have picked. That is also verified by the fact that they are claiming that whatever a politician says, believe the opposite. The opposite is true. When they claim that Biden is a moderate and that he's going to bring back the moderate Democratic Party, that is not true.
I think we need to take a break here and throw equal shade on the Republican Party. You're sounding awfully partisan.
There's no doubt. Don't get me started on the Republicans, Tombstone, because this week I have been going after both. And so then the other common theme throughout the DNC convention was that Trump is going to delegitimize the election. And he's destroying the veracity.
The mailbox.
We are destroying the veracity of the election via the Postal Service. And the entire media is buying in on this, guys. The entire media
it's a conspiracy
is buying in.
Even though theory.
Yes.
Even though verifiably, you want to talk about conspiracy theories. The left has been freaking out on the right for conspiracy theories with coronavirus. And here is a legit conspiracy.
Okay. Last week, Reuters sent a photographer to take a picture of a bunch of street side mailboxes sitting on a lot in, I think, Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Right.
They published that picture with an article about how people are freaking out about mailboxes being taken off the streets.
Yep.
Do you know where that picture came from?
Was it a mailbox manufacturing facility?
It was a mailbox refurbishment facility.
There you go. Wow.
Reuters
I did not know this, by the way. I did not know this.
Reuters published this completely context-free, adding to the fire purposefully. And someone else actually drove out there. There is a sign literally right next to the lot where the mailboxes are stacked.
Yep.
That says it's like Mitchell refurbishment, mailbox refurbishment, something like that.
I'm gonna.
They purposely cropped it out of the shot.
I'm gonna add some context to this whole
two funny things to go
theory.
along with that. Okay, two funny things to go with that mailbox thing, and one is that I've seen multiple things now that are like 100% true, but a little old on Facebook. You know, the kind of conspiracy on the right about Facebook fact checking everything. Although it's not,
Facebook is going to take
it's
this
not
down,
completely a conspiracy. Facebook is but Facebook is I'm seeing like the actual fact checks where somebody has shared an article and when you go to view it, it's grayed out and it says, oh, I've seen a bunch of them, and it says this false. It says false information. It says false information. See why? And one of them was about a mailman who was taking Trump Pence signs out of yards, and people were. It was just a generic article. No date that was saying this is the guy that could be delivering your mail-in ballots. It was about the mail-in ballot thing, which is a completely different discussion. But it was marking that as false information, not because it wasn't true, but because that happened back in 2016. It was one guy, they caught him, he got in trouble for it, he got fired, whatever. But it was marked false because it was without context. So these articles, because they were like, people might believe this was happening yesterday and it wasn't. This was from 2016 and the guy was fired. So it doesn't have context. So they're just marking it false because most people will see some boomer, if we're going to use the term, in their news feed, share that article about a mailman stealing Trump signs. they'll see Facebook's flag over it that says false. They won't click see why it's false, and they'll just go see these crazy right wingers are making up fake stories. When it was a real story that happened in the past, it was shared without context. I understand the concern of it being shared without context, but you have that being flagged for no context, and then you have Reuters intentionally perverting the context of the mailbox thing, and that will not get fact checked.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, the other funny thing about the mailboxes, I think I shared with you, the person that has taken the pictures of AOC fake crying outside of the fence at the border over the whole immigration thing. And they photoshopped her in front of the fence with the mailbox.
Yeah, I seen that. I saw that. I saw that.
Crying over them.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
I like
Best
like
meme of the week for me.
I like
So,
it.
guys, to add some context to this USPS situation,
AKA flame to the fire.
so they're claiming that Donald Trump has intentionally sabotaged the USPS.
Donald Blumpf.
He has intentionally sabotaged it.
Donald Trump.
Which
I actually
with his
believe
Twitterizing,
this
he's not helping himself.
No, he's not.
No, he
because
doesn't help himself.
I believe it because as soon as he got into office, like the first 120 days, that was one of the things he was doing. He was like, you know what?
We're gonna revamp
Get
the
rid
postal
of
service.
the postal service because I need to win the next election, and there is going to be a coronavirus coming.
Ben.
Now we're
Putin to
flagged for
help
fake
him
news.
Get rid of the.
Thank you.
Don't doubt me.
So
I think you have a future on MSNBC.
so Donald Trump is being blamed for the postal service, but let me just tell you, the postal service has in and of itself destroyed itself from the inside.
Don't come at me with your facts.
Now,
I know that's
yes
not
and
what
no.
you're going to
Congress
do.
has also destroyed it.
yeah, right. Congress has destroyed it through its.
The funding the future pensions or whatever, that is nonsense. They're the only organization forced to do that.
Let me add context to this, though, with the removal of mailboxes and the removal of sorting machines. Okay,
You are fake news.
now
right
this is courtesy of the USPS.com.
They're fake
Mail
news, too.
volume has decreased in half since the year 2000, from 100 billion pieces of first-class mail to 50 billion pieces.
Listen,
Can somebody tell the junk mail that has my address because they haven't got the memo?
Just
Aaron, you can mute him if you want.
no, I'm actually going to give a relevant
Yeah.
thing for this.
How can we tell?
You need to understand.
We can't.
Stone. If you were on more, you might.
oh
I do
wow,
understand you.
ouch.
Why do you think my attendance is so spotty?
So this is where the Jeff's late reaction.
Jeff and I are going to go start our own podcast
Good.
where Jeff talks for 45 minutes at a time and I just nod.
So what you're saying is that this is actually going to correlate with America getting the internet and having email and other forms of communication, and the more, because I would venture to say that around 2006 or 7, whenever Facebook started coming out, you probably also have a drastic decline in personal mail.
So just over
It's time to decolonize yahoo.com and Gmail.
2018 to 2019,
Tools
there was
of
a
white
decrease in
supremacy.
volume of 2 billion pieces of mail. Now, these mail sorting machines, they sort 30,000 pieces of mail a day. There are hundreds of mail sorting machines that are not in use right now because of the decrease in mail volume. These are mail machines that have literally been sitting there for years, not being used. And they're being removed, finally. They're finally being removed.
Well, my understanding is this is all being done on a schedule that was predetermined years ago.
Right? Yes. Okay, so let me add more context.
Wait. What you're saying is sometimes the government does things that have nothing to do with what's actually in the news right now. that have been
Right.
planned years ahead of time. And you're saying we should just believe this? Is that what you're saying?
Nope. Fake news.
Guys, if we have a mail-in election in every single potential voter mails in a vote, we have 153 million voters. Okay?
Right.
That would equate
we
to
only have males in the election.
forward and backwards. Oh my goodness. That would be forwards and backwards. That's 306 million pieces of mail total.
So
Now,
can we go ahead? I want to pivot to something else that's really concerning me.
Just get this. That is an increase of 0.61% in volume. That's it. 0.6%. For the census this year, the census sent out 560 million pieces of mail. And that wasn't stopped. That wasn't slowed down. Okay? Regularly, the USPS deals with increases of up to 1% of volume. And it doesn't have any issue. Now, the U.S. Postal Service right now is also dealing with 15 to 20% of their employees not showing up because of COVID-19. Literally not working because of COVID-19. Because they may be sick, they may be not feeling well, and they're being told stay home if you don't feel well.
Right.
15 to 20% reduction in the workforce.
I don't have my tax return back yet.
Which is exactly why. Exactly. Okay.
It's not
AOC
to deprive me of my very juicy tax return.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has come up with a solution to the Postal Service system.
I am so looking forward to this.
She
Tell me.
has officially declared that she will officiate a progressive pen pal service.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding you.
I did actually.
I am not kidding you.
What does that mean?
We're going to find out. Aaron's going to tell us.
Now, how do we encourage the Postal Service? By sending more mail. That's how we support them. And so, if we have a pen pal service, we will then, guys, I am not joking.
I think she should just start chain letters back up.
Yes. Yes.
Do you know how frustrating that was? I don't know if he remembers this, but his grandson is listening to the show right now. There was a gentleman I knew who used to send me chain letters. Like chain letters in the mail. Like he would
like it's the old for the younger kids out here. It's the version of the Facebook post of you have to tag 15 of your friends and like and share. Facebook's going to cancel this, and you're not going to have good luck.
Before that, it was email forwarding
and all those kind of things.
And so what he would do is he would write this letter out, and then
before the Facebook, it was email. Yeah.
He'd kind of write this letter and then support it all with clippings from newspapers that were like photocopied onto a sheet. So that you could easily photocopy it again and send it on.
Weirder.
It was awesome.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds more like a serial killer than a.
So he'd write a letter. He'd write a letter, and then the supporting documentation. No. Then the supporting documentation was like sticky glued to a paper, and then
like a serial killer.
No, this man was a nice man.
How many of these?
Sure.
How many of these did you actually copy and forward on?
Oh, none of them. None of them. I have a stack of them somewhere. If I can ever find them, I will bring them onto the show for you guys to see. Yes. Because they were always hunting related. It was fantastic.
Mail them to us.
Like a serial killer.
No, I will not send them through the mail. I do not support the Postal Service.
I know.
Guys, the Postal Service has had a deficit of $8 billion per year for the last several years.
Yowza.
Just so you know. Now, granted,
I'm assuming it's a combination of mismanagement, underfunding, or
yes. I can tell you why, because they suck.
It's a combination.
They suck at everything.
Now, if you remember correctly, back in 2015, they signed a deal with Amazon to deliver their packages at cut rate prices.
Yeah, they got
50%, not anticipating that Amazon was going to double the number of packages they were sending.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so Obama wants to put the kibosh on that deal.
Y'all want to take a break
Trump
for a minute?
Wants to.
Yes,
and come back and we'll talk about more interesting.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. What are we going to talk about next? There's so much to talk about, guys. Silence.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
Yes.
Fake news.
My brother was cleaning out the stalls out there for Troy, you know, working for him. And they called, want me to come around there. Well, when I get there, I realized that they're already drunk. One thing led to another, and before I knowed it, there was knives, guns, everything just went haywire. They cut my beard and forced me to eat it.
Guys, as if 2020 couldn't get any weirder, we now have two tropical storms, two tropical depressions making their way towards the Gulf Coast of the United States.
How close are they?
Monday, Tuesday, they're supposed to be making landfall, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. What is very cool about these storms is that there is something called the crap. I'm gonna mispronounce it. And last week, after being yelled at by a listener for mispronouncing derecho,
the derecho,
the derecho.
Never saying derecho because it derenches you when it comes.
It does derench you.
I like it.
I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this word, but what the cool thing with these storms is they can actually impose an effect on each other, and they can like intertwine and like spin around each other.
So if you strike one down, it'll become more possible.
Well, no, it doesn't strike one down. The weaker storm starts rotating around the stronger one.
It's totally lost on y'all. I hate you all.
No, strike me down and I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine. Palpatine?
Yeah,
He doesn't watch Star Wars.
Then I don't know what he's going for.
At least Jeff had the movie series right, even if he totally missed the character.
I hijacked it. I got the strike me down. Strike me down. No.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
How did I miss the character? That's exactly who said
So,
it is tropical depressions in the
it's Palpatine. Strike me down and I'll whatever.
Right.
I don't know what he's
Jeff's
thinking.
right.
Jeff's right,
All
and
right.
Oswald's agreeing with him, which means something weird's going on.
No.
You're racist.
Oh, you broke out the R word.
Aaron, what happens to the dang hurricanes in the Gulf?
No, so anyways,
He's like all ticked off because we got his reference right after he said we didn't get his reference right. I don't know what's going on.
Dang it!
I even fixed my audio lag for you.
Whoa.
Thank you, Jeff.
Whoa.
That's what she said.
Oh my goodness. Really? Oh boy.
What's the term? What's the word?
I'm not saying the word.
Say it.
Spell it.
I think the term
Sound it
for
out.
is Durango.
No.
And it's made by Dodge. You can get it in diesel or gas.
Wait, they made a diesel Durango?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
I was going to start car shopping now. Wait, what?
He's like, I want a diesel Durango.
This should be part of the Lamborghini segment.
Okay. So what is the name of this?
Dude, just
I lost
type it into
here.
the chat.
I lost it's the Fujiwara effect.
That's a Japanese.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that sounds like something from a sci-fi movie.
Because this happens over in the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
And if I understand the research properly, this hasn't happened in the Atlantic since 1936. And so this is kind of a cool thing. Like this is like 2020 is making history again, guys. With the Fujiwara effect in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's usually what happens when time marches on. Makes history.
Thank you for that.
Just want you to be factual, man.
No, you're good.
The fact checkers are coming.
So it looks like it'll make the first one will make landfall in around Galveston, Texas, 1 a.m. on Tuesday, or 1 a.m. on Wednesday, sometime between there.
I need Trump to control the weather because this is only going to help spread the virus.
Well, we all know that's what happens.
You know this is only happening because Trump backed out of the Paris Accords and is burning down the entire atmosphere as we speak personally.
That's true too.
Well, yes, that's a possibility. Guys, wanted to make mention here. Kanye West is still apparently running for president. And
he missed the ballot in Wisconsin.
As of right now, though, still has my vote as a write-in write-in candidate. He took photos in Atlanta the other day of him, Dan Cathy, and Steve Harvey all enjoying lunch at the Chick-fil-A corporate headquarters.
Well, that's not true because Chick-fil-A is racist chicken.
Well, and that's where the headlines are hilarious. The headline, and I quote, reads, Kanye West and Steve Harvey had lunch with the CEO of Chick-fil-A and were so confused.
And we're so confused. You sound like you said
Yeah,
there's.
yeah.
Oh, and we're.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was like, why are
we are so
I
confused.
understand why Kanye West was confused based on his social media activity. I don't understand. Well, and actually, Steve Harvey's confused because he keeps reading the wrong name out of the envelopes. That's a legit headline right there.
Don't get him to announce the president.
Right.
That was the scheme. They met together, and Kanye was going to hire Steve Harvey to announce him as president.
That's awesome.
Yes.
What a great reference.
Here's my thing. All right.
We've lost Tombstone.
If Chick-fil-A, if there was a van that was marked Chick-fil-A, it came up and abducted you, dragged you to Chick-fil-A headquarters, and plopped you down in a seat and gave you Chick-fil-A, would you be upset?
No.
I don't know what that had anything to do with the story. Point being, the headline is "We are so
yes,
confused."
We are so confused.
The contraction for "we are,"
yes,
not
we
"we're
are
so confused." The people
story.
writing the article were confused about the people of the African American variety eating with the Chick-fil-A man who is white.
Right. They can't get their heads around it. I mean, this is numerous places online are freaking out over the fact that two black guys had lunch with Dan Cathy.
Now, to be fair,
who's the racist? Who's the racist?
To be fair, I think that they view Chick-fil-A more as homophobic than racist, and they just tag racist on for fun.
Not?
So
they also apparently sang the doxology. If you scroll down,
what?
That's really
they did. They sung the doxology together and prayed before they ate lunch.
I have to say, this is kind of random, and I am moderately confused as to why these people know each other.
Never mind.
I'm just saying.
I agree with the headline. I'm so confused.
Why? Who cares?
No, I'm just curious as to how in the world did all of these people get together in the first place?
They're all rich people. They all know each other. When you're in that tier of wealth, then the club's not that big. Who was it? It was Dan Cathy and Kanye. Who
Steve
else
Harvey and Kanye.
Steve Harvey.
Oh, Steve Harvey. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall.
Tell me about it.
It must have been fun.
Tell me about it. I bet it was a blast. I mean, Kanye went down the slide.
So, Steve Harvey is not, I don't think he's a conservative of any kind, but he did actually get tapped by the Trump administration in 2016 to do some kind of
game show.
Because he has some kind of nonprofit that he does. No,
if Trump started a game show and Steve Harvey was the host of it in the White House, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So Steve Harvey runs some kind of program for underprivileged kids or something along that line, and the Trump administration basically sent him some. I think they sent him some money.
Steve Harvey's an incredibly benevolent guy
because he doesn't like Trump, but he did a speech about it on his show, and I cannot remember. Let me see if I can find it, because we could actually play a little bit of it, maybe.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. A lot of people know him from his thousands of ventures that he's involved in. What's the game show that he does?
Okay, here we go.
Right now,
Family Feud. But he does a dozen other things that he's currently involved in.
He misannounces Miss America winners.
Right. Tombstone, do you know if there's music behind that?
I'm looking right now.
Okay, because I don't want to play it if there's music behind it. But no, he does little big shots. He
doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just speech.
Is there a specific time frame that you want me to go to?
It's 11
there?
minutes long.
Yeah, it's 11 minutes.
He wants you to play all 11 minutes.
Family Feud, Celebrity Family Feud, Miss Universe, Steve on Watch. He's always involved in something. He's got 7 kids too, which is crazy.
I'm beginning to believe that Purred Happily from Parks and Rec is based on.
That's great. That's a great reference. Could very well be. Anyways, just a stand-up guy, always involved in philanthropy. He's got the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation. It's a philanthropic organization. I believe that's what you were talking about. That provides youth.
You were afraid of saying Fujiwara effect, and you just pulled out philanthropic.
Well, after the whole Dorencho conspiracy, I decided I better be.
Said Dorencho.
I certainly did intentionally.
We fixed
sure.
It's Durango.
They host a yearly camp for fatherless kids. They partnered with Kent State University to provide scholarships to the school. I mean, he's just a cool dude.
I'm confused. Why are we running down?
I don't know, because Steve Harvey seems like a cool dude.
Like,
why not?
I don't know.
If you give me a minute during the break, I'll find a relevant section.
So I was actually filling space so Tombstone could do his research there.
I can't listen to that
because that is what we do here. Speaking of rich guys, Tombstone.
Whoa.
What?
Wait a minute. Did we just literally blow over the fact that there is a slide inside of Chick-fil-A headquarters that Steve Harvey went down?
No, I mentioned it.
I didn't hear it.
I was not paying attention.
Pretty cool. I've actually been to Chick-fil-A headquarters.
Whoa. What was it like? Were the walls made of chicken?
No.
Does it smell like Chick-fil-A the whole time?
Did you have all of your belt loops?
I did. This was before I met my wife. So when I graduated from the Bob, I went down there to interview for a job in
That rhymed.
Wait,
this is in 2009. This is a long time ago.
They didn't take you, or you didn't take them?
They didn't take me. But let me finish the story. Dang it! So, it was a contract position. It wasn't even full time. It was contract. It was supposed to be like 6 to 9 months, something like that. And it was down on the south side of Atlanta, which is not a place that I really like that much. And I didn't have a place to live down there. It was kind of a long shot, but I went down there, interviewed, and it was like $15 an hour, something like that. So I interviewed with one of their IT guys, I guess, and the building. So it's a campus. It's like 3 buildings. It's like the whole campus is like a park. They have a really nice cafeteria in the main building, but they don't only serve Chick-fil-A stuff. They also serve other stuff.
It's served by Sodexo. They don't even serve Chick-fil-A stuff.
So, but one of the interesting things they had there was they have a little mock-up of the first Dwarf House diner that
can we say that
Cathy ran.
That's what it was called.
I know that's what it's called. Can we say
he
that?
Ran there by the airport back in the day.
And midgets last week. Come on.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was kind of interesting, even though I was just like this dorky kid just out of college, and the position was not an expensive position. They kind of gave me like the full treatment, even though I was just some dude. It was kind of nice. I would have liked to work there.
Cool.
See, I always find it weird. Did they offer you to eat? Like, did they?
They actually did. Yeah, they asked if I wanted something to eat because we had the interview at a table in the cafeteria.
See, that
between
is
meals.
so weird.
There's no way I was going to try and eat during.
No, right, exactly. Like, so, I am a frequent
that's why you didn't get
purveyor of Chick-fil-A. Oh, I'm a frequent purveyor of Chick-fil-A, and for some reason, every single manager picks the seat next to the drive-through to do the interviews in.
Yeah,
and I'm watching them. So I pull up to Chick-fil-A. I'm order my food. I'm flying through the drive-thru, and then you see him doing an interview with someone who's inevitably eating, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat during an interview.
I'm just trying to process the number of times that Mathis has had to have been through a drive-thru.
You can check my Chick-fil-A app
because Chick-fil-A gets you through the drive-thru pretty quickly.
It does.
So it's not like Taco Bell where you could sit there for like 3 straight interviews.
No, you're right.
Nothing happening and watch them happen. Okay, so for the number of times
you by
he
how
had
long the
to
interview
be,
is and whether or not I can get through.
I'm just thinking
through the drive-thru so many times to notice that interviews were happening. They're happening by that window, and that people were eating during them.
It's super weird, guys.
How many people do you think have realized the realization that we've come across of being offered food for a Chick-fil-A interview and have just done it for the food?
No.
I'm interviewing tomorrow.
I don't know if it's worth just the food.
My word.
Tomorrow's Sunday, isn't it?
How much food? Yes.
Closed on Sunday. Thank you,
Doesn't get any
Kanye. Thank you,
food.
Kanye.
Dang it.
Closed on Sunday. You're my
Oh.
Chick-fil-A.
Listen, we're going to get sued.
Kanye, if you want to sue us, you got to come on the show first, okay? Okay, buddy?
If only Kanye knew we exist.
That'd be amazing.
If only I don't
Jeff's
know what
like, no,
existence this Kanye
no.
is aware of,
We might have
to
a
be
connection
honest.
to Steve Harvey.
If
we did.
Kanye sued us, we could agree to settle for whatever amount of money that he wanted in exchange for getting him on the show.
Ooh,
That's true.
that's a good point.
What do you mean we?
And then we could
Settle
tell
with
him that
that.
he needs to not sue fellow
You know what?
Christians.
I
We
will
don't
I will
have
give
enough
him all of our
assets. That's a good
profits.
point.
I'll give him all of our profits.
Don't give away my salary. I
All of
got
our show
fired,
profits.
man.
I'm sorry. I have to.
We're not the USPS.
We're not running an $8 billion deficit every year.
Oh,
All right.
Uh,
Anyway, let's keep going. We're getting
So,
boring.
Tombstone, you mentioned rich people. I wanted to make mention of Elon Musk climbing to number 4 on the world's richest people.
Has he?
Elon Musk has made $62 billion this year.
Shoot.
When you say
Increasing.
made, do you mean made the same way that Fed has made like $62 billion?
No,
for the last
he's
10
legitimately
seconds?
made it.
Oh, okay.
He's legitimately made it, not printed it, or just added it to our balance sheet. Elon Musk has increased his wealth from $28 billion to $93 billion.
Jeez Louise.
He is the second highest earner, at least wealth creation person this year. Jeff Bezos of Amazon.
Wealth creation
Well,
person.
like
That's the technical term.
increasing his wealth. I mean,
wealth creation personage
What
thing
would you like
guy.
to become?
Jeff,
I would like to become a wealth creation person or a philanthropist.
Jeff.
But only if the Fujiwara effect does not affect me. Because I don't like Dorenchos.
Jeff Bezos. Am I saying that right? Bezos?
Doesn't matter.
Nah.
We make funny anyway.
He is
I
almost
think most people pronounce it with a long E.
Bezos. He is almost back up to his pre-divorce wealth, and is floating at 195 billion, having made 80 billion this year.
So what you're saying is he's single and I have a chance.
Well, is it legal in your state? I think you're married.
That you have a chance with him, or that you have a chance at making money?
I'm just
or-
saying, if he just got back up to his pre-divorce amount, that means that whoever he divorced got probably half of that.
I mean,
Guys, check
plus-
check your Facebook messages.
the plus side here is that we could say Ozzy is in the media. Ozzy is in the media. However, you don't seem to be his type, like the woman Bezos was caught having the affair with.
But it is 2020, and I could be.
You could be anything you want to be in 2020. Let's be honest.
You could be an attack helicopter.
Ooh, I would like to be that too.
You
What are my options for that? Let's go with that next. All right, let's keep going. We're getting boring.
guys, I called it about Ben Shapiro. I totally called it. We need to go to break.
Did
We
y'all
need
talk
to go to
about that
break.
last week?
No, heck no. We need to go to break.
Okay. I'm not sure that's real.
I hope it is.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
We eat ribs and whatnot and listen to salsa music. You see where I'm coming from?
Free ponies for all Americans, one of the overlooked issues in America today.
Gentlemen, our next story takes us to the universal bastion of freedom, North Korea.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
Well-
that place.
They're probably like a step or two ahead of at least like California.
I mean, you know,
New York City, maybe.
well, that unfortunately may be true.
So what is happening? I'm going to be serious this segment. I'm not going to be.
Yeah,
unserious
right.
this
Yeah, you're
segment.
right. Yeah, right.
What is going on in North Korea?
What is happening in North Korea? Well,
what is happening in North Korea?
not much. Not much that we can actually learn about.
Did they
in
get any
the media.
coronavirus tests yet? Do they
Yeah,
have
they
any
have
cases?
a zero cases, 0% death rate.
It is amazing that if you don't test,
It's a miracle.
you don't have any cases. North Korea has officially decided that I don't know how to say this delicately, so I don't think they're going through food shortages, guys. They're going through food shortages,
No.
and
No.
this is very rare, of course, for a communist dictatorship.
I was gonna say, yeah, food
Very
shortages
rare.
and communism never.
Never happens. In July, Kim Jong-un officially declared that owning a pet is now against the law. And
He's
now,
back?
Mhm,
He's back now. I thought
Yeah,
he is
apparently he
back.
didn't
He is
actually
back.
die.
He did not die.
Oh.
He did not die, and
Conspiracy
and
theorists.
Lil Kim was not running the
And
country.
his sister did not take over.
No, she did not.
Or she did, and they're just using his name.
Somebody get Dennis Rodman on the
She's
phone so we can
she's
send
signing
him over. As
she's
our
signing his
liaison.
checks probably.
She may be. Look at him sitting there with his nice slick back hair.
Is he the Joe Biden of their country?
Ooh,
I need to
that's,
know if
that's
this
a
is
conspiracy.
if this is a current
Now-
photo that they took for this story, and if it's actually accurate for this story, or if this is an old photo.
No,
that's
this-
out of context that will make.
This is
fake
an old
news.
AP photo
Because
that I've
I'm
seen
getting-
for years.
I'm getting tired of the fake news on this program.
Well, it's actually one of Tombstone's photos that they just shopped in because him and Lil Kim are lookalikes.
My
so
word.
Uh,
Really flattered, I guess.
so
Tombstone
no,
looks
we-
like his
we just-
sister.
his
whatever.
sister's Lil Kim.
We just joke about his
Um,
Kim Jong Un haircut, which is not a really a Kim Jong Un haircut right now. 'cause
Not
it's
now, not now with
unruly.
that
No.
bushy fro, my man.
It's
not
like
funny.
Bob Ross.
Look
that
at
goes
that.
out there.
Oh, it is like a Bob
I
Ross.
do like Bob Ross.
Can you-
Bob Ross has got some. He dropped some truth bombs. Let me tell you.
Can you
Yeah, did
paint
you see that
some,
about the tax man?
some cute little trees right there?
They're happy.
Okay.
Happy
They're
little
happy little
trees.
trees.
So
You
confused.
can't even do Bob
Let's
Ross
get
right.
Happy
let's
little
get back.
trees.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
Okay.
You're turning into
Get
fake
back
news
to the-
again. Keep going.
So
Get back
North
to
Korea
the
has
Kim Jong-un.
has ordered that the citizens turn over their decadent and bourgeois pet dogs. Bourgeois
they're bougie. They're too bougie.
bourgeois.
Bourgeoisie is the noun. Bourgeois is
bourgeois.
the verb, or the
Yes,
adjective,
I
rather.
just watched Scarlet Pimpernel, so I am up
You are
But
well
in-
on
versed.
the French versus.
But in the modern
It's
American
also
terminology, it's
pronounced-
bougie.
Bougie. They're
Yep.
bougie
They're too
pets.
bougie.
It's true.
Not to be confused with boozy.
Nope.
They're
Or
bougie.
bougie.
Right. They're being turned over. The dogs are being turned over for restaurant meat.
Wait, say that again.
What? The dogs are being turned over for restaurant meat. Yeah.
You should have played the crickets right there.
I mean, you can get that in any restaurant in New York.
Well, in never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Dang it. Self-censoring sucks.
Well, Ozzy is pretending to be serious for this segment. He is just cracking immature jokes in the group chat.
I mean, got to do what you got to do.
So who let the dogs out on this story?
Well, not Kim Jong Un. He's locking the dogs.
He's
up
locking the
and
dogs
then
up.
transferring them to
they-
their local Chick-fil-A's.
Do they? Do they just have like fat dogs? Is that like a Korean thing that they're?
I don't
just,
think
like,
their dogs are fat. it's easily accessible
Do they
meat.
have that many dogs?
Yes, because on the North Korean peninsula, pets are
Is
or
this a
dogs
picture of
are considered a delicacy.
Now, wait, are they doing this completely for food? Because this note says some of the dogs are sent to state-run zoos or sold as dog meat restaurants.
So yeah, in South Korea, there 1 million dogs are reared on farms and consumed every year.
So it's
so
not an unusual thing to eat dog meat.
no,
in Korea, I
and
think,
in
is
fact, there's
already-
probably a very large percentage of dogs
So
eaten
this
in
would-
North Korea, but this is personally owned dogs.
So
pets.
so in any wait, so this is actually the pet dogs, not the
the,
farm.
the pet dogs are now being taken and brought in for food,
So
which
they're-
seems like it's a very bad.
Now, are these grass-fed dogs? Or are these?
free range grass fed dogs.
This seems like a cyclical thing that's
And
not going to
were
be
they-
good.
Were they treated with loving care?
Well, judging by the look of them in the cages, no.
That's probably just from an ASPCA commercial.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
That one
With
beagle,
Sarah,
that
Sarah
one beagle is
McLaughlin
kind of
singing.
chubby.
Looks like a nice dog. Oh, Jeff. Oh, the irony. You have now joined the part of the show where Jeff explains a word. Welcome to Jeffomology.
Can't hear it.
Irony. Irony. When a pair of pants or shirt look nice and smooth, they look irony. It's also the antonym to wrinkly. It can also be used in relation to skin as well, but it's less well known. For example, unlike her grandmother's wrinkly skin, the baby's skin was irony.
Jeff, I don't think that's what that means. I don't.
I'll allow
That's- It says it. It says it right here.
I'll allow it. That's just a text message from Aaron.
Don't dispute my sources.
That sounds like fake news.
It is source
You racist.
material. So, yeah.
What was ironic about any of that? I completely.
I
No,
don't-
he
all of a
forced-
sudden,
I
Aaron was
forced
just
it.
like,
I forced
Aaron
it.
was just like irony, and then
The
everybody
irony-
would stop talking.
No, the irony is that unlike the people,
All I saw-
people in North Korea, the dogs are nice and fat.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, I'm telling you, it was a
the
solid.
irony-
You should have said that. Like, yeah.
You literally caught me off guard because you were like, "We're gonna
All
work
I
this into this segment," and we like
Here's-
blew past all the
I'm
spots I thought it
sorry,
was gonna
Jeff.
be in the
Here's what I
segment.
see. Here's what I see. Aaron's talking about dogs. Tombstone's falling asleep, and Jeff is looking intently, trying to find and flip through his phone because Aaron goes irony, and then just stops talking.
Like,
And it was like, and then Jeff's just like frantically sweeping through his phone trying to find the text message from Aaron.
You're
Like-
giving away our secrets, and before everyone gives Aaron credit for it, that definition was all my
yeah,
credit.
that was
I
not
had
me. That was
texted
not
it
me.
It's
to
the text
Aaron
message that
earlier in the
Aaron
week.
Yes.
sent. Yeah,
Yes.
that
That
Jeff
was
sent
not
to
me.
Aaron.
That was not me. I don't want
We
credit
were
for
talking about ironic things occurring on, shall we say, Aaron's Facebook
that.
wall.
Oh my goodness!
and,
Bookface.
and then
What a
I think-
train wreck.
I think Aaron said something to the effect of, "That's what you call irony," and then Ben said, "Maybe Jeff should define irony for us," and I cranked out that winner right there. So
You nailed it on that.
You nailed
we
it.
just,
I think
and
you
we
nailed
just
it.
was
killed
good.
the whole segment by
It was
talking
good.
about it.
I
so
know.
I don't really know why.
I know.
did that,
Again,
but
we explained it, and that always sucks when we explain
maybe
things.
we
Wait,
should just
Tombstone up.
delete.
I
Maybe
think
we should just delete that part
I
of
think
the segment.
I think that's what we call mansplaining. Yeah, we did it again.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Uh,
wait. So the other ironic thing I see here is
Yeah.
you keep talking about food shortages.
Yeah.
But I think that may be misleading in the headline because
How
yes,
so?
the Daily Mail says, okay, there's two true statements here. The North Koreans have ordered the people to turn over their pets, and the country is rocked by food shortages. But they're not just coming door to door confiscating your pet because you don't have any more guns to confiscate. So they're just confiscating your pet, and they're taking them straight to the soup kitchen to feed the community. This is actually just a declaration that owning a pet is too where was the terminology here? because they're just forcefully confiscating and putting down these dogs or sending them to zoos.
Yeah. This is incredibly disturbing.
And so here's what it says. It says,
yes.
Where is it? I lost it.
Yeah.
Sorry. You got to kill time for me here.
Authorities have identified
Now-
households with pet dogs and are forcing them to give them up or forcefully confiscating them or putting them down.
But somewhere it said something to the effect of, oh, here it is. Owning a pet is now against the law, denouncing having a pet at a home as a tainted trend of a bourgeoisie ideology. So, like, at least it seems like they're just taking them away, saying you're too rich if you have a
Yeah,
pet.
well, it's
basically.
you're acting too Western.
So that was what I'm wondering is are they 100% taking them to feed people, or are they just taking them away as part of their whole control? You're Western, whatever.
I think it's a control situation.
And
I
so
think
then
it's being
they also
claimed
have a food
as
shortage. They also eat dogs, but
it's
they're
being
saying,
claimed as a food shortage, though.
No, I think it's being claimed as it's too Western.
Well,
I mean, he straight up announced that it's
yes,
have a tainted trend of bourgeoisie
Well,
ideology.
yeah, but I think it's also the whole thing of the media here. In this case, the Daily Mail. You're welcome, Tombstone. Declaring, that this is a food shortage, because it's too, it's that whole sway of the news. That whole, we have a different narrative. It's not because we're too white or too Western. It's because, well, they're poor people who the United States has destroyed because of their policies. And I was like,
Wait, you
nah.
lost me.
What's that?
Okay, next segment.
Anyways, so
Yeah, I don't. You lost me there. I don't know.
no, so my point there, Jeff, is that yes, you are correct. The true story is they are banning the dogs because it's too Western. But yet the Daily Mail is swinging it across, is portraying it as, well, they're hungry, and dogs are food there.
Yeah,
And
I didn't see in my cursory skim of the article. I did not see it's the U.S.'s fault North Korea doesn't have food. I didn't see that anywhere.
Well, yeah, I hear you.
Like
I hear
you're
ya.
trying. So I get what you're saying.
I am reading into it a little bit.
You're trying to say that the news is spinning it that once again
Yep.
a communist country is starving only because the evil U.S.
Yes,
blockaded them and forced them to
that
starve.
is exactly what
and
I'm
if
saying.
the evil U.S. didn't blockade them, they would be filthy rich and ruling the world.
Look,
I did not read that in
the
that
article with this: Kim's decision to use his reserves, which is reserves of food and stuff, have gained the attention of some diplomats, describing it as an SOS signal to China for emergency aid. I'm telling you, they are spinning this. They are spinning this as this is what's happened to them because of us. But anyways, that maybe I'm just reading into it. Maybe I'm jaded today. But that's just what I'm seeing through it. But okay, so question, guys.
Yes.
Dog meat. Where is that on your apocalyptic consumption scale?
Well, we own a dog.
So it's on there.
Ozzy's children
I
don't
would say-
listen.
That's amazing.
That the dog is probably going to go before the cans. Like, I would say probably as soon as he runs out of dog food and we cannot obtain more, the dog is going to be on the menu.
I mean,
Or at least on the menu for us to deal with and throw in the freezer for later when we get desperate. And maybe bring back to life. He's lucky.
Wow.
Ozzy's going early. He's
I
just like,
don't-
you know what? I'm sick of this thing. Do you not like your family pet?
Ozzy's like, I'm not starving.
Listen to what I'm saying, though, is, okay, so you have a dog who's going to consume food. And
Yes.
he will consume any
Yes.
type of food. So once you get to running out of actual dog food and you can't obtain dog food, he starts eating your food for your family.
You can feed him scraps your family's not even going to eat.
Yeah, but if we're at this point where I can't get dog food for a dog, then I'm at the point where every scrap my family has, they are going to eat.
Dog food is a
Not the dog.
relatively modern phenomenon.
Right.
Right.
So
but I'm saying
when you're
though,
like,
I'm not
if
going
we're
to
in a
be-
place where we can't get dog food, everyone must be starving. I don't know that that's quite
Well,
a true statement.
In modern day
but I'm saying
society, though, in modern day
but-
society, yeah.
No. But we're assuming that we're at that point, and that's the point where if we are running out of food and we cannot obtain food, and all I can obtain is people food, or even very little of people food, and I'm worried about my family having it, the dog is going to be the first thing that's going to go.
Yeah, I don't.
Let
And
that
I
dog
don't.
roam
why would you
around.
wait-
He'll find some food for
And
himself.
why would you waste the dog meat?
Yeah, I
I'm
agree
just
with.
saying,
guess.
like,
I agree with
it
Ozzy on
sounds-
that one.
It sounds morbid, but, and I'm not saying we're
Have
going
you
to kill
ever
him off,
wondered
but
why?
either that or my dog needs to learn how to hunt
Why, as a
and
Western
fend for
society,
himself.
we've decided some things we can eat and some things we can't. So, like
Horses,
dog
horses
versus,
in the U.S.
dog versus whatever else, rabbit,
I would
and
eat
then
horse.
horses
Mhm.
versus cows.
Horse slaughter in the U.S. is widely illegal,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is
but-
fascinating.
It'd be
It's
interesting to see
arbitrary, too.
why that came about.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought I remembered researching this at one point, and I think it had to do with the type of animal that it was, that some animals were more valuable and or rarer to obtain. So like horses were meant and worked as a specific they had
Well,
specific things that they could do. in
Yeah, you
pulling
can
their
train
weight
it,
around,
and it's
so it
more
wasn't
useful than a
beneficial.
cow. So if you're gonna
Right.
pick one of them to just raise, kill, and eat, and one of them to train and use, you're
Right,
gonna use
right.
the cow,
Mhm.
use the horse and kill the cow.
Right. I think it started with that, and then it just stemmed from there for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it just became like, oh no, I'm not gonna kill my mode of transportation. Yeah.
Right, and it became.
And I'm
more,
sure
yeah.
too, you work your horse and you do all this stuff. The horse is gonna be very tough, and versus you just fatten up a cow or a pig to
Right.
eat.
Have you guys
Probably
ever
the
spent
cost-
time?
Probably the cost benefit ratio too.
Have you guys ever spent time in the horsey community? Especially
Are
on
we
the East
talking-
Coast.
Are we talking
Which
horse
horsing
or
community?
Like horsey- horsey
like
commu- like,
rich horse people.
It is
when you talk about
filled
horse
with
people,
Karens.
like hobby
Yeah.
horse people?
It is
or-
Trust me.
filled with Karens.
It's true.
And
it's
so,
true.
like, good luck eating one.
The equestrian community is
A Karen
is a lot
or
of
a horse?
A horse owned by a Karen. Not gonna happen.
Oh, you weren't very clear with your wording there. So.
I was. I mean, okay. Weird meats that you've eaten that aren't on the conventional scale.
Okay.
What? You got to have something, Jeff.
Well, I mean, anything I've eaten is still technically on the conventional scale because I haven't gone to like Korea eating dog meat. But I mean, I guess it would be things like calamari and frog legs and probably most like squirrel. A squirrel would probably be
yeah.
one that most
There you
people
go.
would say is not on the
I do
conventional
love calamari.
scale.
I've never had squirrel.
Calamari is good.
So
Squirrel's not bad.
calamari would be normal to most people,
Now,
I guess.
here's the-
So then squirrel would probably be one of the weird ones. for
Here's
me.
my question. Because you can eat calamari in a couple different ways. Would you eat it alive?
Nah, heck no.
Because that is a
Negatory.
thing.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know with the
that's-
little
that ain't
tentacles
right.
still moving
Right,
on the
like
little baby
moving
spit.
and
No,
Well,
wrapping around your
that would
face.
be
I do
on
the
the
fried ring.
That's not
the
that's
fried
the little
rings of
octopus, not the.
calamari.
That's the octopus, not the calamari.
Oh, the
Yeah,
calamari squid.
Octopus, they serve live.
Octopus. Yeah. Would
yeah.
you eat an
No,
octopus live?
I have eaten octopus, but I've never eaten it live.
Okay. Would you? Because I've heard, and we have had tuna. Tuna is like you eat it very rare.
Yes.
Would you literally catch a tuna and just right off of the hook bite it and eat part of it?
I would definitely.
Or where do you draw the line?
I
when
would
you're
turn it
eating
into
something?
sashimi
Does
right
it
off the
have
boat.
to be-
Okay.
Does it have to be dead before you do that?
I will
though?
not.
Where do
Okay.
you draw that line?
This is my line of tuna. I do not like eating sushi and stuff where I live in the middle of the country for obvious reasons.
That's because it takes weeks for you. Guys
Right,
to get
exactly.
You don't want to eat gas station sushi from Nebraska?
But I will, if I was out fishing and caught a tuna, absolutely I would take a piece off of it.
If I was out fishing with you in Nebraska and we caught a tuna, there would be a lot more issues that I'd be questioning.
That's a very good point as well.
Just saying.
It's a very good point.
It's just random tuna in the middle of Nebraska. It's like, wait, what?
I was thinking
What's
through
happening?
through my list. Squirrel was on that list.
I think the weirdest thing I've eaten is alligator.
Done alligator. Tastes delicious. Absolutely delicious meat.
Which is chewy.
Kangaroo. Kangaroo's delicious. Very much like venison. Beaver, delicious. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just a lot of good stuff. So, what about you, Tombstone?
I mean, a lot of seafood, but nothing that I would consider really strange. Yeah, I really like lamb chops.
Ooh,
that's about it.
Yeah, that's one of those things that doesn't show up very often. Like
I've
in
never
the supermarket.
had. I don't think I've ever had a really good lamb chop in the United States. When I was abroad, I used to get them.
Yeah,
And grilling a lamb chop on the on open flame with the correct spices and everything is really good.
Now, do you like your lamb with mint?
I don't know if I've ever had it
I
with
can't
mint.
stand
mint
it.
jelly, the mint jelly that they
I
do
only
with it.
eat it with stuff that you would probably they in South Africa they had a special set of spices they would put on it. They would actually treat it with the spices and then package it. So when you got it, it was already sort of rubbed.
Ooh,
and it was like a peri. It wasn't really curry, but it was something kind of in the curry family, and it was really tasty and very tender. I love lamb curry as well.
Ooh.
So
now, when you were getting those
it's
lamb chops,
amazing.
I know a lot of people make lamb chops like rare.
We would cook them all the way through.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel like
as
lamb
long
is
as
one of those
as long
ones
as it's a
that's
good
cooked really rare.
As long as it's a good cut of meat, it stays tender. You can cook it all the way through, and it stays nice and tender and juicy. It's not a problem.
What do you mean by cook it all the way through?
Oh,
I mean, he's saying eating it rare. Like I never ate it when it wasn't done.
Like well done?
You can. I would say yeah. I mean, it's been a while.
Because no, I don't eat my steaks well done. Like I like
yeah,
my
yeah.
steaks
How do you
medium. I
eat
like
your
my
steaks?
steaks medium.
I eat my steak. I eat my steak a little on the rare side.
Steak rare to rare, yeah.
Oh,
rare,
goodness.
medium rare.
Goodness.
Aaron's
No,
asking
medium.
about the cow that's out back of the
Like-
restaurant
Yeah.
that they chopped it off.
Okay, you were talking about tuna earlier.
My
Best way to cook
grandfather-
tuna: take a block of the tuna and just sear all six sides of it. Rare. It's so good.
Yeah, tuna is one
So
of those
good.
weird things that you
fish
eat,
rare
like,
just
rare.
really turns me off too.
It's got to be
depends
fresh.
On what it
Gotta
depends
be
on
fresh.
what it is. It depends on what it is. Tuna is about the only fish that I will eat like super
Oh yeah,
rare and not
yeah,
cooked
absolutely.
rare. But I don't know. It's good. But you got to
Oh.
be careful. You have to know that it's reliable. The place.
We got to
you're
go
getting it
deep sea
from.
fishing sometime. We should all like show up in New Jersey and go deep sea fishing with Ozzy because they got good tuna fishing off the New Jersey coast.
Maybe if I ever get my boat finished, we can take my boat.
Okay.
I don't know if we can
No.
fit a large tuna in the boat with
No.
us. It's like we sank Tombstone's boat.
I mean, it would make a great story on the show. Let's be honest about
Or
it.
the tuna literally pulls us out to sea.
Be like the story from the New Testament where Jesus told them to put the nets on the other side of the boat, and all of a sudden they had so much fish they couldn't float.
Yes. It
Yeah,
all-
we're
it
we're
was just
we're
one
dropping the
giant
nets
tuna
before I'm
fish.
going down with you boys.
Wow,
Just-
that's hurtful.
I'm
No
just-
love.
That's
No
hurtful.
love.
Do you have? Okay, I have a serious question
Yeah.
for Tombstone. All right.
Yeah,
Do you have? Before I go on the boat with you,
yeah.
I need to know if you have a tennis or a volleyball, because if you do, I'm not going to get in the boat with you.
Don't think I have a volleyball.
That's where I draw the line.
No, short on volleyballs.
You need
Okay.
you need accompaniment.
Do you work for FedEx?
Nope.
Does your name
We
start?
we should be
does your name
safe.
Start with the word Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never travel with Tom Hanks.
You,
ever.
you know what I watched last night with Tom Hanks in it? First time in like probably 15 years was The Green Mile.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's weird.
Actually,
It's a
don't know that I've
really
ever
good
watched
movie.
That movie.
You should. It's a good movie. Like good story to it. Like I don't know. It's just a solid movie. Like it's bad. Like it's terrifying. It's The Green Mile. It's about the Green Mile, which is a
That was just an excellent description, by the way.
just stop. I'm going on to explain it. Which is the death row in a prison in Louisiana. which was painted green, and it was Walking the Mile. Yeah, it's just a solid movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good message to it, and weird as heck, but super good movie. I still get caught up with Tom Hanks flying with Jeffrey Epstein, though. I mean,
all right. When we come back, how to change a tire while driving.
Ooh, how do you do that?
Very exciting.
I'm not going to tell you. It's a poll for the next.
I don't know if I want to know. We'll be right back.
For example, the first thing that we make now, instead of a cuckoo clock, see, this is a poo-poo clock. And what we did see is we took them turds and we crammed them in between the number there, so that's 130, 230, 330. The turds are all local. We just go out and track the moose, and wherever the moose are, they're going to take a crap. And I have found that when a moose takes a dump, you walk about 50 yards in any direction and they take another dump. And when a moose takes a dump, they'll crap out between 200 and 400 turds every time they take a crap. So it's like I get $5 a turd for these things. So I get jumping right up and down. I get excited when I see a turd.
Thank you for that.
All right. Well, I got a question for you boys.
The same thing is true of our 3 listeners when they see our faces on the video broadcast. They get excited when they see a turd.
Well, not when they see yours, Jeff. Not when they see yours.
So anyway, I got a serious question for
My
you guys.
identity is being protected.
When you have an old flat tire, how do you get your old flat tire changed?
Well, I'm carrying an old flat tire around my waist, Ozzy.
How do you change
That tire is not flat. It's well inflated.
Unfortunately, we're not changing it anytime soon. It takes too much time.
So, do you think that it is possible and or realistic to change a tire while moving in a vehicle?
Depends on if you live in Saudi Arabia or not.
Well, yes, because the vehicle's in the trailer and you're just in the back of the trailer changing the tire on it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. What if the
'cause
vehicle is actually moving on the road without a trailer attached?
So the vehicle that needs the tire changed is driving.
actually physically driving and moving. Yes.
I know that if you could do this, you would revolutionize NASCAR.
Well, we're in luck, eh?
Look no further than September 18, 2018, because it is possible
This
in
technique
NASCAR.
has been around.
They're still in the developmental stage of trying to get it into
So
NASCAR.
we're following this 3-wheeled vehicle with what looks like are those Hitler things on the mud flaps? I mean, I've got to ask. It's a bird of some sort.
I don't
It's
know.
an eagle.
I don't know.
It's an eagle.
So this three-wheeled vehicle, I'm not sure if it's in a race because the car that pulls up next to it looks like it's like got tags on it and decals and stuff like it's a race car. So I'm not sure if this is actually during a race or if this is just they wanted to see if they could do it.
The fact that this guy's making corners while literal 90-degree corners.
He is defying physics in that video. He really is.
He literally, guy leans out the window and is changing the tire on the back of this 3-wheeled vehicle.
Yep.
The guy is driving.
Well, and for those wondering that are just listening and not watching, how is he changing the tire? Because the guy has swerved the 3-wheel vehicle to get it to tip up on its left wheel and its nose wheel.
Okay, so his foot is dragging
up in the air.
His foot is dragging on the ground. Yeah, he was dragging his foot.
Okay.
But I don't know. Is it dragging the whole time? Because it looked like it was
What
dragging
kind of
while
shoe
he was
does he
slowing
have
down.
is even more important if his
Maybe
foot
it's
was
made
dragging.
out of tires.
I'm trying to look at this foot here. It looks like he's dragging his foot when he needs to.
Yeah.
Because going around the corner.
So that's how he's keeping it from tipping over.
I think so,
There's
but
just no
he is
way.
barefooted, it looks like.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness! There's another video of changing tires, and it's like a legit 4-wheel car.
Are they doing the same thing?
Yes,
There's
they
no
are.
way
They're
tip
about
a
to change.
four-wheel vehicle
Send me
on
the
its
link.
tires.
Send me the link. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Is this the 5th gear?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's pretty darn
Yeah, I
impressive,
mean-
I have to say. Okay, so anyway, it is possible. So us lazy Americans need to get with the program here
Clearly.
and stop wasting time, especially during NASCAR season, because NASCAR,
Wait.
like,
Is this
Y'all
why
need
you
to-
were referencing?
y'all need to figure this out.
Is this
Can
what you
we-
were referencing about Saudi Arabia, Tombstone? Sidewalk skiing?
Maybe.
Wait, what?
Let me see this.
This sounds horribly dangerous, and I like it.
They use a ramp. They use a ramp to get their 4-wheel car up on 2 side wheels, and then they try to hold it there. Oh, and they're doing it. They're changing a tire this way.
Yeah.
This is
He
ridiculous.
really doesn't believe us, does he?
No. I watched the 3-wheel vehicle, and I watched the, like, weren't you guys doing the one with the donut? Like the car was doing a donut.
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something. No, this is like legit driving straight down
Yeah,
the highway
what are you
with them
watching?
crawling on outside of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was crawling outside the vehicle as well.
Here, look. Here.
I'm
I mean-
sending.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna
There's
just.
the link. We're
Well,
all
yeah, I'm
watching
gonna
like
send it.
different videos.
We're watching different
That's the
videos, but
thing.
this one is ridiculous. I'm sending
Which-
it in the Facebook chat. Just so
All right, get it to
Okay.
the audience. so
Yeah,
they can
get it.
enjoy
Yeah,
Get it
let's
to me
just
so
get
I
to
can
it.
show it on. Show it to the YouTube family.
This is mad impressive that this is even a plausible thing that people have figured
Yeah.
out. So
That is
I
pretty
like it.
good.
I like it. So we need to figure out how to do this, and we can do it to Aaron's truck. I think we can just randomly do the repairs that your truck needs en route to where we have to go.
I vote we try it on the like Mitsubishi or whatever that has the bullet holes in it.
You know it's long gone. It's
Which
not
makes
gonna
me
happen
sad.
I know. It makes me cry.
I
every
couldn't keep
time.
it in my yard forever. Much like the boat that belonged to Ben's father that
Yes,
now
you
belongs to
could.
me.
You
I can't keep it in my yard forever.
You live in the South. You could just keep a rusty old car
It's
in your
true.
yard forever. Be a
Jeff,
classic
you're right.
redneck.
The problem is my wife is not from the South. She does not appreciate the aesthetic in the same way.
She's from upstate New York.
true.
Like they're just
I'm only telling you the reality of the situation, Jeff. It's not really negotiable. A lot of stuff in my marriage is, but that's not.
All right. So anyway,
So these Saudi Arabians are like, what in the world?
I told you, like that one is insane.
They're blocking highways to change tires while up on. What in the world?
craziness.
I can't even.
Craziness.
Ozzy, tell me about this new Lamborghini.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it in.
You
here.
didn't put it there?
No.
Well,
Who
I
put
didn't
it there?
So it is a Lamborghini. Lamborghini's new supercar. Is
Oh, that's
illegal
right.
to
He knows
drive
an
on the
awful lot
road.
about it for someone who
I
didn't put it in
did
trouble.
put this in here. I forgot about this. No, so this is the new trend of
And
company
and here we
builds
go.
company
In
builds
just-
a supercar.
Hold on. In just a moment, we're going to have a segment that's called Aaron Mispronounces a Word.
Oh,
It's coming up very soon.
It's every
Very
segment.
soon. It will be right after he says Lamborghini and tries to
Essenza.
pronounce the name.
It's the Essenza SCV12. This comes as a trend. New companies are now producing these supercars that are not legal to drive on the highways.
That are not legal?
Not
That's
legal.
A trend.
Well, it is a trend.
It's not a trend.
they've-
It's like a normality.
but they've started-
They make supercars that do that. It's a trend to make the supercars all legally supercars.
Oh, see, I'd argue
that would be the trend.
I wouldn't buy a car that I couldn't drive on the highway though.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right. Which
I
would
buy
be
cars
why
I
it would
can't
be a
drive on the
trend
highway,
to make
but it's got
all
to
of
do
the-
with the fact that they're 4-cylinder falling apart.
Yeah, it's not like a V12.
It's not that it's illegal to drive on the highway; it's that it can't get up the highway speeds.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So this car is 800 horsepower. It is not legal to drive on the roads, but Lamborghini has said that they will deliver these cars to tracks for you to
Yes.
drive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ferrari does the same thing.
I believe it's three times in the first year, and then
Ferrari does the same thing. Bugatti does the same thing.
and they'll
They
keep
have-
it in there.
you know,
They'll
they make
keep it in their
supercars that you can't
garage.
drive.
They'll keep it in
Only
their
not-
garage. So you
Saturn
can't
didn't
you
do
can't
that
even
for me.
keep it in your own garage.
No, you can't keep the car. Like you own it, but it
But you don't
stays.
own it.
Yeah, see, that's just so
right,
dumb.
It stays at the
That's
at
just
the facility.
That's just
that,
waste of
you know,
money.
Yeah, at Lamborghini's facility, and then they'll drop it off for you to drive if you want to drive it.
I mean, at least you could buy a
Which sounds
yacht or
terrible.
something. Like,
It sounds terrible. I
the
have to
people
say.
buying these cars, Mathis, like I was gonna say it's physically impossible for them to waste money. That's not quite true.
no, it's not.
They could just waste money at a
This
rate like 10 times our yearly salary.
10
to
times?
not even
Yes, 10
notice
times
it,
our yearly
and not
salary.
even
That's right.
notice it.
This
Yes.
looks ridiculously fast.
Not a chance I would buy this. It's $2 million. Like, even if I had the $2 million to blow, like Jeff said, I would not even consider it. That's just stupid. Why would I do that when I could buy a Ferrari? When I could buy a Ferrari for 300 or 500,000, a quarter of the price, and have just as much fun and drive it on the.
It's not the same car. That's why. You're
Give
not
me
a
a
rich
Corvette
person who has
Stingray.
driven these cars all the time.
It's ugly
That's the
too.
point.
It's
Oh, no,
ugly
it's not.
too.
You're delusional. You don't.
I
know
don't
what
like
you're
the front
talking
scoop.
about.
I don't like the
You
front
know what?
scoop.
You know what? Why don't you just stick to the back porch of it and it'll be fine?
Oh my goodness. I don't like the back porch of it either.
Here's the question: Does Ozzy think the
delusional. This
new?
is awesome.
Does Ozzy think the new rear-engine Corvette looks good or bad?
I haven't seen a picture of
have
it
to
yet.
say- what?
I haven't seen a
Why have
picture
you
of it
not?
yet.
It's awesome. It's
I
beautiful.
don't like it.
It's
I don't like
beautiful.
it.
That is
And
arguably.
it looks more like a Ferrari
America's-
because it's gone to the
that is
European whatever.
arguably America's first supercar.
It is. It looks
I would
very much
say.
like a Ferrari, guys.
And
Yes.
that's why I don't like it.
Oh, it's very
Interesting.
impressive. No, it doesn't
I
really
want it to
look
stay
like.
looking like a Corvette.
You're right. It doesn't really look like a Corvette. So in the sense of actually being a Corvette, it kind of misses the mark. But in the evolution of making a American supercar at an extremely affordable price,
Yes.
that does it.
I
that's
agree.
brilliant. The only
Or
other
I guess
thing
I'm
that
sorry,
gives
it's
me,
not a rear. It's not a rear engine. I misspoke. It's a mid engine.
It's a
it's a
mid-engine.
minute. Right.
So, question, guys.
I have to say the only other car that gives me the tingles like that would be the Fords for the F40 or with shoot.
The Mach, yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's the
I know what you're talking about.
It was
Oh,
the Ford versus Ferrari. They came back out
Yes.
with the new models of those.
crap. What are they called? It's the McLaren. No.
No, McLaren's
No.
a brand, man.
Yeah, I know.
Did you realize that the
drawing a complete
Corvette
blank.
is Chevy's longest running passenger car?
I did.
nameplate?
I did actually. I read that last year.
Yeah.
I do like this car.
It's the GT.
This is the
Ford GTs.
prettiest American supercar I've ever seen.
With which one?
Like the Corvette.
Corvette.
The Corvette.
It's beautiful.
It
It's beautiful.
is. I do not like, however, the Ferrari feel to it, but I do see the.
But it's caused by the mid-engine and not keeping the front end long. Like if they would have kept the
Yeah.
front end longer, like a normal front engine car,
You can't-
it would have looked
you
more
can't,
like a
though.
Corvette.
Like-
You can.
You can't.
looking
You'll
at an
lose
old-
stability.
I'm looking at an
But the
old
thing
Vet
is, like,
where they
it
did
does-
it.
I know, but you'll lose stability, is what I'm saying.
It's got Ferrari styling.
It
But I
does.
think it's more. I think it's more McLaren kind of style.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I think
that's-
the only
that's
reason, I think
interesting,
The
yeah.
only reason you're saying Ferrari is because it's red. Like a lot of the pictures are this beautiful, like
You're only
candy
saying
apple
Ferrari
red.
because you're an uneducated American.
That
Wow.
too,
Hmm.
yeah.
That-
I mean,
oh,
I
yeah.
watched Top Gear, man, like all 15 or 20
Okay.
seasons of it. So
My
don't mess with me,
favorite,
man.
my favorite, and I don't know why I like this car, but the Bugatti Veyron.
That's a beautiful car. It looks kind of fat though.
It does, but I figured it works with me.
That doesn't mean that it's big inside.
Oh crap! No, I love the episode where James May took the airplane and Clarkson took the Veyron.
Yeah,
And I think Hammond took the
from
train.
Switzerland. They went from Switzerland to London or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it was to London from southern France.
Yeah.
It was the French Riviera.
No, it was the other. It was the other way around.
Was it?
Yeah, they started in France.
No, yeah, they started in France and went to London because the final step was he had to load the car up on the
Have you
tunnel
seen-
train.
on the
right?
tunnel
have you s-
train.
Have you seen the Devo?
No, I haven't.
Devo? You should look that
How do I spell it? Because I want to make sure.
Divo.
I get divorced when I type that in. I don't want that.
That's your Google problem.
Yeah. Well, Google recommends things related to what you've been searching for.
No.
Or been talking about.
That's terrifying. Well, I haven't been talking about that. Who in my house
Then
has
you
been?
might want to talk to Alyssa.
Right. That is an interesting car. I think I like the Veyron better.
Yep, it's because you're
This-
old. That's why.
Yeah, I don't like the front.
It's cool, dude. It looks like a freaking jet.
It looks too futuristic.
awesome.
Like
Yeah,
the lines
welcome
just
to-
look too futuristic.
What is
Welcome
this
to
car? What are we looking
2020.
at?
The
Bugatti
Bugatti Devo. Look, guys, I'm still a lover of the old classics.
The Veyron is brilliant.
Yeah, like
the old
late
classic
60s,
car. Yeah.
late 60s Stingray.
What's your
Corvette Stingray.
No, I don't
what's
like
your
that one.
favorite car? No, I like the mid 70s, like the early
Or
70s
mid-
Stingrays.
yeah,
Those
that
are the
era,
beautiful
yeah.
ones.
I love the
my-
Cuda.
Okay, what year? My dream car is a '69 Camaro SS.
It
I
would
love that.
Mine would have to be like the 72 Cuda. So I was doing an insurance inspection in a car shop.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
and I saw it was early 70s Cuda sitting there. And I look at it and it didn't have any detailing on it. And I look at it and I point at it. And I was like, I didn't know for sure because it was in pieces all over the floor. And I'm like, is that a Cuda? And the guy gets this big smile on his face and goes, oh yeah. I'm like, no way. And so like they were redoing the whole thing, putting brand new engine in it. Like brand new crate engine. Like it was crazy. They were redoing the entire machine, bringing it up to modern standards. And I was like, dude, that's sweet. And I'm also a sucker for the 69 Mustang. And that may herald back to Gone in 60 Seconds. Eleanor.
That wasn't a '69 Mustang.
That was a 69 Mustang.
Wasn't it a 60s? Was it a '69? I thought it was a '67. And that was that was a GT.
It was a Shelby
500.
DT500, but it's close. GT500, Mustang, whatever.
That's not the same car, man.
Is it though? I mean,
It's not.
It's not, but
that's
it
why they
is.
brought in Carroll Shelby.
Yes, we can parse the
The man
differences,
could-
but yes.
the man could do magic.
Anyways,
with cars.
yes, he could. He could. Anyways, I am an absolute sucker for that
I have to
series.
say, by the way, the Ford
And-
versus Ferrari movie is excellent.
It's a good movie.
highly
Frankly, though, if someone walked up to me and said you could have a 69 Mustang or a Shelby GT500, I'd take the Shelby GT500, but
Wait, what year?
I would not be the 69.
Oh, I'd take the GT500 instantaneously.
But I'd take either if they're giving them to me. I don't care. Like I just don't care. Just don't care. They're a beautiful car. Like that front end. Oh, that front end. Anyways, moving on.
Okay.
Sorry.
You lost me
a Tombstone.
Sorry, guys.
Tombstone's been gone since we started the segment.
Tombstone, what's your
here?
dream car? Is it a minivan?
Is it a
It is.
Mitsubishi Eclipse?
I can tell
I'll be talking about
tell you the
minivans
next car
because he'll
that I
talk
would
about
like.
those too.
I can tell you the next car that I would like to buy.
A Tesla.
A Tahoe. No, not a Tesla. What would I do with a
Tahoe.
Tesla?
I need a truck as well.
Nothing loud.
Yep, I want a Tahoe because
Tahoe.
I'm a large American. I want a large American car.
I mean, that's why I bought the pickup I bought. So
Fair enough.
I've been driving Japanese cars my entire life. And a couple years ago, when I was still working for Aaron, actually, a friend of mine lent me his Grand Prix to work in for a few days. And even though it's a sedan, it's not even a really big sedan. It had plenty of room for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. So I'm thinking about getting a Tahoe. But I don't know if I could afford one.
I've been driving cheap small foreign cars. I borrowed a Grand Prix and was like,
thank you,
there's
Jeff.
space, so I need a Tahoe. Like,
Thank you,
what?
Jeff.
I did not follow that.
Well, I have to have.
I like it.
I need an SUV, so I don't need another sedan.
You do.
The sedan I have is probably going to last forever.
I'm telling you, man, you got to go
Do
with
you
the
need an SUV though?
go with the Odyssey, man.
Yeah, I do.
Honda Odysseys, dude. They are
get
the
a truck.
swagger wagon, buddy.
I
They're awesome.
I'll consider an Odyssey, but
They're
it's still
brilliant.
It's a van.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
van.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with minivans. They're very utilitarian.
The thing is, like, you got to realize minivans of today are not minivans of the 90s when we grew up. There's a huge
But
difference.
are they?
Aren't they?
You're only saying
Really
that.
not.
You're saying that 'cause you own one,
You're
Ozzy.
in your mid-30s and you own one and have kids.
I'm telling you, man. Like, seriously. Of the
No
two
one is
cars
saying
that I
they're
have,
not useful.
I prefer the minivan. It is much, much nicer.
They're absolutely useful.
And you can roll down the back windows. Like,
Yeah, my parents have a nice town and country that we borrowed when.
How would you do
a bunch
that?
Of us went on a trip, but yes.
why not? It's awesome.
We owned minivans growing up. We started with we traded
What was
in.
the first, what was
okay,
the first minivan
so
you
we
had?
traded in
It was the
our
Ford Turd. What was
Oldsmobile.
that thing called? The Ford
Astro?
Aerostar or Astrovan
We
We
had
had an Astra. All
or
right.
Aerostar. Aerostar. Chevy was the Astrovan, wasn't it?
we went from a old Oldsmobile station wagon to the
Excuse me.
Bless
oh,
you, Tombstone.
We're
Sorry.
sorry for giving everyone the.
I couldn't get to the
What was-
coronavirus.
is it the Astro van? What's the one that looks
Aerostar.
like not the Air Astro?
Yeah, the
What's the one
Ford
that looks like
Aerostar.
the shuttlecraft from Star Trek?
Probably the Aerostar.
The
but I
Aerostar,
don't know.
probably. Yeah. This thing.
I
This is what we
can't.
had.
I can't see it. You gotta send me
Well,
the.
look,
Gotta
look
send
up
me the
Send
link.
it.
He's sharing his screen with the right
Oh,
now.
no,
This
that
is-
was
So the newer
not
newer version
correct.
of that was the newer
This is
version of
what
that
we
they
had.
released in like 96, 97 had the more space age looking body, the curvy body to it.
because ours was plexiglass, like fiberglass body panels.
You're talking about the Toyota.
No.
Both Toyota
It
and
was
Buick.
It wasn't
Buick made
Toyota. It
one
was
as well.
American.
It was Buick. It was the Buick. I know
Buick
exactly which one you're
van?
talking
Wasn't
about.
Buick.
The Lumina. It was the Lumina.
It was the Lumina.
Chevy
Oh, that's
Lumina.
a Chevy.
Lumina.
Chevy Lumina.
But Buick and Chevy both made a van in that on that chassis with that body.
Okay, so yes, it was the
shape. It was
Chevy
it
Lumina
was
van.
badged. Yeah.
And
they also made a Chevy Lumina sedan, which is the first car I owned.
it
I
was
wrecked it.
it was a terrible van. And then
Oh,
we ended up
yeah.
with a couple other Chevy vans, I think.
There's like some tricked out, like sporty Lumina sedans. When you Google it. It's kind of funny. Like they're trying to make their Lumina. It's the Lumina SS. That's hilarious.
Why are we trying to put Tombstone into a van? That's
I
the
don't know.
question. That's the question we need to ask.
Listen,
I really
That's
don't know.
Ozzy.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's the way to go. Minivans.
Here's a Chevy Lumina
Is it,
painted
though?
up in the Dale Earnhardt.
It is, yeah.
I can see some benefits of it.
It is. It's like the best of all worlds. It's awesome. It's super spacious. All of the seats drop down into the floor. They're really easy to be able to cargo things. I
Mhm.
didn't say that.
What? What?
When did cargo become a verb? It's really easy to cargo things.
It's really easy to cargo things.
Jeff will now define cargo.
It's when you put your foot on the gas pedal and
It's when you turn on your car and step on the gas. If you're in your minivan, it would be called van.
cargo, Van Go.
But it's not quite as pretty.
Not to be confused with the painter.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yep.
Uh,
Dude, the 90s had some terrible cars.
Oh my
There were some
goodness, today.
terrible cars.
My dad ended up
Did you
with.
also see the clothes and the haircuts and everything else in the 90s?
It's
It
true.
was all right on
Oh,
par
dude,
with
you want to talk
itself.
about 90s?
80s,
Some-
80s is so
Fanny
much
packs.
better.
Jones do not bad mouth the 90s.
Fanny-
The 90s were a golden age. We're gonna look
We-
back on the 90s like boomers look back on the 50s.
We
Are we
are
though?
all
Yeah,
90s
absolutely.
children. I think we love the 90s, but you got to look at
The
some of those
80s were
styles.
so much
You know what
better.
stat? You know what stat is really terrible? I heard this on the radio this week. Was the last Saturday morning cartoons happened in 2014. That was the last time there was like a definitive Saturday
Really?
morning cartoon segment. Yep.
As far as like the whole Looney Tunes and
Yep. As far
I
as
mean,
being
to be
like
fair,
though,
distinctive, like
Cartoons
on
have
a
been
major network.
awful for a really long time.
I don't
True.
disagree.
I don't think that's any great loss. Just
I
being
don't
honest.
disagree.
See, I never watched cartoons as a kid. We weren't allowed.
You know what?
I know. So
Man,
I don't know
well,
what I'm
if-
missing.
If I'm comparing either letting my kid watch cartoons or not watch cartoons and how they're going to turn out, I guess I'm going with cartoons because of the four of us here, the one that didn't watch cartoons.
What are you implying, Jeff? What are you implying? What are you implying, Jeff?
How do I put this?
No, let's just keep going.
All right.
So, guys,
Let's end the misery.
Any other topics we need to cover this week? I don't believe so.
Let's put the listeners out of their misery.
I believe we have successfully put the listeners out of their misery.
No one's listening at this point.
www.thefrontporchshow.com. You can check us out on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere where you like to get your online content. We are there, including YouTube. We'll see you next time.
We're not really.
What do you mean? Well, good point. Good point.